Consult your journal frequently to check the immunities and
How many
vulnerability.
times
Oh,
must
shit.
I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Wait, what?
Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet. Monsieur de Richet, I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
It seems like there's several people here that are dependent on my mother being alive and well. So I'm a little confused about how they would want my mother to be gone. Like Napoleon Bonaparte, he seems to want to make a deal with my mother for cannons. So if she's not here, then that deal's not going to go through. I would think that Emily... Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Why the fuck is my mom hiding? I just don't understand. Especially now that I'm here. Can't she, like, visit me secretly in my room at night? Okay. We could do some more psychology, maybe. Weird mask, I don't like it. I think there's only the servants wearing a mask, right? Lord Mortimer's office, January 22nd. The Council. Episode 2, Hide and Seek.
Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. But an act of horrific violence occurred during the night, and I do not know if this is linked to the disappearance of Sarah.
What are you getting at? What act of violence?
We found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room. She was brutally murdered, stabbed several times.
Okay.
I'll get straight to the point, Louis. According to the initial elements at my disposal, you were the last person to see her alive.
Yes, last night we, Do you suspect me?
I want you to tell me everything that happened last night, and leave nothing out. Tell me, how did the evening begin?
I was with the Duchess?
Duchess Hillsborough and I were returning to our rooms when Elizabeth came up to us. She was in a state of panic and insisted that she needed to speak to me. She said she feared for her life. I took my leave of the Duchess and followed Elizabeth to her room.
Continue.
She insisted we have a drink, without which she refused to confide anything.
What exactly did she want to speak about?
She thought she'd seen my mother.
She claimed she saw my mother the previous evening on the cliff, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. I will send someone as soon as possible. But do go on.
I refused to go on drinking with her. She already seemed drunk and her conversation became confused. So, then she ordered me to get out. If only I'd stayed.
Don't blame yourself, Louis. How could you have known? But thank you for this new information.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why's that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you.
I don't know about
Louis,
that.
find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer.
Why?
I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Any details about this tragedy? Because, like, if you don't think any of the guests did it, then who does that leave? The servant?
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Fantastic.
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi. So, I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur
think?
Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Right.
Okay, well,
I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
oh, really? Because it sounded like they suspected me. Ay, ay, ay. Piaggi.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young woman who looked a bit lost.
A bit
But I don't
lost.
think he got a very warm welcome.
Probably
Bonaparte
not.
and Adams? But they didn't even know each other, did they?
I couldn't say, Louis. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Peru. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry.
Yeah.
He's on the list of suspects.
He's at the top of the list of suspects. Let's be real, that guy is a freak. And by freak, I mean he has a very violent temper. Key within a cold water
Dante's Purgatory.
symbol.
Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
So charming. This place is amazing. Can you imagine living in a house like this, though? Oh my god. Is there a parrot over here? Hello, servant guy.
A nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781.
I'll just be taking this off your desk. Really, we just steal shit.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
Oh, no, I'm not ready to do that.
I'm listening, Louis.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Goodbye.
I'll be in touch as soon as I have any more information.
So I guess we come back here after we're done investigating then. Oh, look at how cute you are. I wonder what kind of bird this is. I thought it was going to be a parrot or something, but it's definitely not. It's closer to some kind of like crow or raven or magpie or whatever. Hello, sir. Looking straight up your little toga dress.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Fuck. Four-letter word to open a chest. Fuck, I don't know. That's a hard one. I'm trying to think of what four-letter word.
Golden elixir.
Maybe there's
I'll keep it for
a
later.
hint somewhere.
Hey, a Russian ruble. I wonder what it'd be worth today.
Okay. Time to go investigate. There's even their napkins on the floor.
Monsieur Johann von Volner.
Okay, Volner's room. I can't actually get into. That's interesting. Why did the music suddenly get all crazy? Don't want to miss anything.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No, nothing special.
Really? Don't tell him anything for the time being. What is he doing in the quarter? Speak about Elizabeth's death. Insinuate he looks dodgy.
I'd have thought this is not really the shortest way to get to your suite.
Yes, I wasn't really looking where I was going. I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Oh, really? At least we got him to go back to his room. So I guess we can check out Elizabeth's room and then mayhaps we go back to Volner's. Okay, where's the dead stuff? Oh, that's a lot of stabby. There must have been a struggle, right? Because all of the stuff that wasn't flipped over is now, well, I guess she could have drunkenly flipped it over, but... Oh, what's up, dude?
Has Sir finished with this room?
No.
No, I haven't gone over everything yet.
Sir may take his time. When Sir would like to leave, Sir has only to tell me.
Yes, sir is aware. Thank you, sir.
My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing to inform you.
No, we've read that before. Clock stopped.
Clock stopped at 3:54.
Yeah.
If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime.
So around 4 a.m. then.
Huh. The talisman that I gave back to Elizabeth. I can't exactly say it brought her good luck.
How did it end up all the way over here, though?
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out.
Crap.
June 11th, 1790.
Is that a gun? Is this Peru's gun?
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say. And judging by the weight of it, fairly light.
No, he had his pistol when he came to examine.
A tribute engraved on the barrel. To the liberators of France.
So a Frenchman. That would leave us with Peru and Napoleon. Or anybody who was a ally to the liberators of France.
There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded, and there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently.
Okay.
Right. I shall have to find its owner.
3rd of November. August 24th.
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear.
For the nobility, clothes make the man or the... Let's see what it reminds me of.
The color doesn't correspond to Emily's black outfits, and Elizabeth doesn't have anything quite like this in her wardrobe. Let's take a closer look. It's a little dirty. It must come from the bottom of the dress where it touches the ground. I recognize that moire pattern. It's the same as the travel dress my mother was wearing when she left.
What?
Why the hell did she come into this room?
She must have either come into this room, then said fucking... Oh my god, that guy scared me. He's just standing there looking around.
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality
Mother's
wear.
dress is in the room, which means what?
It's a travel dress. The silk has been lightly waxed to protect it from bad weather. And I know the very woman who came up with the idea, given all the traveling she does. My mother. God
But is
help
this
us.
from...
Why did she come here in the first place?
We didn't
The
really...
material appears to have undergone abnormal wear and tear. She must have been scouring the countryside, and that doesn't look good.
She must have come here recently, though, because when we looked through this room before, we didn't find that. So...
A pentagram? What the hell's been going on here? Contrary to what most people believe, a pentagram's not there to conjure up, I don't know what evil or demonic creature.
Except
With
for
the point towards the
protection.
top, the pentagram is an ancient symbol of protection against evil. I wonder if Elizabeth's death has anything at all to do with this pentagram. If a ritual went wrong and degenerated, Elizabeth would probably have been killed in the center of the pentagram, not 3 meters from here. That's strange.
So it probably has nothing to do with it then. Is that what you're
Pentagram?
telling me?
What the hell's been going on here? Many esoteric rituals are based on this shape. Could Elizabeth have been sacrificed during an occult ritual?
No. That is not it. It's something else. I don't know what.
Vials of laudanum. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Why would Washington do this? Why would Washington do this? I don't understand. I would assume laudanum was supposed to be for her mental health issues, right?
Blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
It's not looking good for Peru. So far, he looks like the biggest suspect. Careful of your step, dude. Let's see. Examine the upper body.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death. It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle.
What
angle? As if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
Really? Really?
Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
I'm very confused. Hands.
No wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol.
Blood on the hand. Maybe she was holding the gun.
No marks or bruising around the wrists. It doesn't look like she was tied up or held by force. This pinnacle's a trap. The wearers of the pinnacle thought that they were protected from evil by surrounding it inside the different circles of the pinnacle.
Arm?
There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
Who's in the next room?
Scarring, ugh. Scarring isn't very regular, but they're mostly from old cuts. People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control. She had the Sigillum de Ameth tattooed on her, the symbol of the living God, written in the language of angels, according to believers. It is rare for someone to know about symbols like this at her age, unless her mother was a tutor.
Kinda sounds like she probably was, if we believe her story.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck, maybe mutilations. She bled from the nose.
Why, though?
There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising.
I'm confused as to why she was bleeding from the nose.
What a strange smell. Laudanum. Certain courtiers use it to get drunk. If taken in large quantities, it can provoke fits of madness.
Well, we know she had issues with that. Legs.
Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs. More tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body.
Welcome back, Laria.
The direction of the blood streaks caused by the wounds to the thorax show that she was standing when she lost blood. This proves that she was standing when she was assassinated, possibly held by someone or something.
I'm confused because clearly they've said that she was lifted against the wall and there's blood on the wall from that, but she was also stabbed from behind, right? So
More tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body.
oh, I'm a little bit confused. Okay, we've examined all of that. Oh my god.
Knocked over bottle of wine.
Intoxicated. You have used 4 consumable items during a single quest or consumed a noxious element. Dialogue timer is no longer visible. What?
Same thing Elizabeth served me last night.
God damn it.
Still just as disgusting. I don't know what's happened to this
probably get
wine,
rid of
but
that.
it's undrinkable.
What is this? Oh, this must have been what she's stabbed with.
The handprint on the handle is really small. I can't imagine a man with a hand that size. It must be from a woman's hand.
Wait, what? What?
The handprint on the handle is really small. I can't imagine a man with a hand that size. It must be from a woman's hand.
How is that even possible? A woman's hand? There's no way she could have, like, stabbed herself, right? That's ridiculous.
The blade is short and thin. Well sharpened, apparently. It's covered in blood. Still fresh. The lower part of the handle is unsullied by blood. The murderer gripped the weapon so tight that there's no blood where he held it. The handprint indicates a small and slender hand.
This isn't really getting us anywhere.
Poor girl bled to death. Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's a size like that here?
Peru?
Peru? Washington, maybe.
Really? We're gonna go with Washington? Oh, that does not bode well. Maybe Washington came to get rid of her for John Adams?
Has Sam finished with this room?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir. Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has Sir finished with this room?
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well,
I need
sir.
to go question
Sir may
the rest of
return
the people.
whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Should we go back to Wolner? Let's see, where is Wolner?
The alchemist is a young man.
Surely there must have been some blood tracked somewhere, yeah?
The signs of the zodiac.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Excuse the sawing in the background. My dad is sawing with the handsaw.
The Greek drachma.
Is that
One
what
of the
that's
rare
called?
ancient coins to be mentioned, both in the Bible and in the Quran.
It's not a handsaw. It's it looks like a thing, and there's a saw blade that's like a circle, like this big, and it's mechanical. What is that called?
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever obedient servant.
So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth. But that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
So maybe he was around her room because of their relationship. Maybe he... Oh, maybe he's really sad that she's dead.
Table of alchemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol.
Golden elixir.
Zinc. That's the 4-letter word. God damn it. Should we go back and open that box now? Zinc. Really, zinc. I would have never guessed that in a gazillion years. Words that start with Z.
A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Oh, maybe it's this one. Z. I. N. So if it's this one, then the other one maybe is a different 4-letter word. Maybe there's a clue we missed in there. What's up, Wolner? Are you feeling sad? I would be sad too. Poor guy. Poor guy. We talked to him last. What? Almost missed that. Oh, Devil's Thorn. We already had too many.
The alchemist is an old man.
A fragment of amber.
Ooh. My favorite. Okay, let's talk to Wolner. I'm here to comfort you, buddy.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly.
Okay. Relationship.
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth. No.
I found the
Really?
Werther dedication. signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure, and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now. Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is true. So, tell me.
All right.
So tell
It was
me.
passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
Aww.
Exactly how long had you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's only been a few weeks.
Did it start here? Do you love her? Aww.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship? You or her?
She probably
was her.
did.
It was her. But what does that matter? We both agreed.
I don't think he did it.
We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Yeah, I don't think he did it. I think he actually cared about her a lot, probably. And I feel like that's way too short of a relationship for him to, like, murder her in a passionate fucking anger like that. That's just not a good story. Let's see. Who's next on the list of suspects? That was easy.
President George Washington.
This will be the curious one. His room is quite nice. Lots of blues, which is interesting.
A map of Vermont.
I love how all the rooms are kind of like geared to their personalities.
Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it.
I wonder if these are like their permanent rooms here. I guess it kind of sounds that way, huh? But that means Mortimer must put a lot of effort into making sure his guests feel like at home. It's kind of sweet, actually. I can't tell if Mortimer is a good guy or not.
Map of Connecticut.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
Fuck.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
William. William Woolner? It doesn't seem too crazy. Also, I have to say, if Woolner was guilty of killing Elizabeth, wouldn't he have hid that letter to her? That seems weird. Because he knew we were going to be searching his room. I don't think that's him. Can't go out there.
Portrait of George Washington.
In George Washington's room, nice. Okay, well. Okay, we're gonna question Washington. Okay, Washington. Yeah, he's okay. He's just working on some stuff in the lab and it's work stuff. Don't worry about it. He's fine.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
To be honest, I don't know if Elizabeth's dad really gives a shit about her. From the letters and stuff that we read, it sounded like the only one she really had was her sister. Ask him about the laudanum.
Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes. She came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
I don't know about that.
Do you take it regularly, Mr. President?
Unfortunately, I do, Louis. I still suffer from a terrible toothache, and it's not likely to get any better.
His wooden teeth?
Just for that, then.
Old age, my young friend. I don't wish it upon you, but you'll soon see. At my age, it's rare to have no problems in that domain.
And do you take a lot?
A moderate amount, Louis. Only the dosage indicated on the prescription of my doctor.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Are you all right, Mr. President? Are you feeling all right?
Oh, don't worry. It's this rotten toothache. What do you expect? I'm no spring chicken now.
What was his alibi for
I'm
last
talking
night?
to all the guests to find out who has an alibi and, well, who doesn't, Mr. President. Can you tell me what you were doing last night so that I can strike your name off the list?
I spent the night right here, reading.
All night?
Exactly. Emily stopped by in the middle of the night. You can ask her. She wanted to talk about some business we have in common.
Anything whatsoever to do with Elizabeth?
Not at all, Louis. A business matter.
So I think that it was said that Washington left to go to his room at midnight. And then at some point, Emily must have stopped by Washington's room to just have a discussion, but Elizabeth was killed at 4 a.m., so there's plenty of time for that to have happened afterward, right?
Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her.
Yes, Lord Mortimer has a talent for healing, apparently. I'm not surprised Sir Gregory advised her to come.
Agreed. Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her. It would appear that she wasn't invited to the conference.
That doesn't surprise me. The poor girl was in no way concerned by our business, and she had no political clout.
So, I don't understand why Sir Gregory invited her during the conference of his good friend Lord Mortimer.
He must have realized that he wouldn't have much time to grant her. Preparing a conference does not seem an easy task. On the evening of our arrival, Lord Mortimer didn't even welcome us, what with his being so busy and all.
Yes, you're right, Louis. I didn't think of that. It is indeed rather surprising. The easiest thing to do is simply ask him, you know.
Of course. Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Peru, but that case was closed, if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened. And I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry. Countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
It's gotta be Peru, right? I can't see it being anyone else. Okay. Who else can we question? Who's here? Nobody. Who's here? Oh, the Pope. Oh, he's not in his room, though. Okay. Who's this? This is us. We don't care about us. Who's this? Godoy? We haven't met this guy at all, have we? I don't think. Emily. Godoy. And the Cardinal. Did you know that Peru means Turkey in Portuguese? Does it really? I did not know that.
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess.
Wait, does that mean the country of Peru, it means Turkey? Does that mean there's two Turkeys?
Grammar of Port-Royal.
Two countries of Turkey?
The artistry of the French language and all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world. At least une partie of it.
Une partie. Wow. I never knew that. That's kind of hilarious. There's a turkey and there's a turkey in two different parts of the world.
Tending children at the orphanage in Harlem. I find it a little hard to understand this painting choice.
I kind of love it.
Amber.
Amber.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. P.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
Dear E, I received your letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Who is Sir Gregory? Sir Gregory. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace, so here we are, hands and feet tied in a little room to maneuver, keeping abreast of our events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. So this is from Emily to her sister Emily. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. Therefore, I cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons. Is Emily looking into our mom? I'm a little bit concerned by that.
The Lady's Waldegrave by Reynolds, painted upon the request of the Waldegrave family in an effort to find their husband. Displayed like meat. It's disgusting.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers.
Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Duchess, you can inform King George of the Holy Father's backing. We shall assist you with financing the recruitment of regiments of emigrant royalists to fight against France. Your friend, His Eminence, Piaggi. Okay.
Two coils circle the lock.
Ugh, I don't have a key for this.
Queen Charlotte. All the royal family of England is there from what I can tell.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now.
Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately. For that, and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough will carry out his task and meet with you within 6 months. From then on, you'll be free from want. Yours sincerely, William Pitt, Count of Chatham.
What? Search.
The Devil's Thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Emily is... well, she seems like she's a spy. So I don't know how much of what she tells us is actually the truth.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Death came quickly. You can be assured of that.
If such a senseless act can happen here, then none of us is truly safe anywhere. Lord Mortimer must be mortified that one of his guests could have committed such an act, don't you think?
He is indeed very upset about it. It's only natural after such a violent murder.
Violent? What do you mean?
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times.
Oh my God, Louis. How awful. The murderer must have had a serious grudge against her to set upon her like that. It must have been a crime of passion. Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Make her speak about the night of the murder. Where was she last night?
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis for each person. Just so that I can cross you off the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the murder?
Am I given to understand that I'm on the list of suspects?
Of course.
Don't take it the wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Well, if you absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening, you only had to join me, you know.
I
Stop
know,
distracting
Emily.
me.
Especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least.
Is she not going to tell me where she was?
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis
She
for
didn't
each
tell
person.
me. She just
so that I can cross
distracted
you off
me.
the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the murder?
Am I given to understand that I'm
Right,
on
I'm
the
not
list
crazy,
of
right? She
suspects?
totally just like diverted
Don't
the
take it the
conversation.
wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Well, if you absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening, you only had to join me, you know.
I know, Emily. Especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least. Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
Others. Speak to her about her correspondence with Piaggi. Speak to her about the piece of fabric where the dagger was held by the hand of a woman.
We found the murder weapon.
What is it?
A dagger. Quite slim.
Have you found its owner?
Not yet. Still searching as it happens. That said, since the blade penetrated the body several times, the murderer's hand will have been covered in blood.
You think that's a clue?
The handprint was a very slender hand, Emily. Probably that of a woman.
Do you realize what that means? There are only 3 of us on the island. Bearing in mind that neither my sister nor myself had any reason to set upon the young lady, that means...
I know, Emily. I know.
Keep up your courage, Louis. I'm sure there's an explanation. You're bound to shed some light on it all.
If what you say is true, Emily, I'm less and less enthusiastic about shedding any light on the subject.
Is there anybody else that's injured? Because... I'm still just not sure the blood on the floor and the blood on the wall are from the same person.
I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. Gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check with you.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
Thank you.
Are you all right? You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the scene.
Thank you, Emily. I hear you were in discussions with the Holy See.
Oh, either His Eminence can't keep his tongue from wagging, or you've been poking your nose where you shouldn't, sir.
Even so, Emily, you're raising a royalist army. That's no small matter.
And you are straying from the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
Maybe Elizabeth would react when she was stabbed and push the person to the wall. It's possible, or there could have been more than 2 people at the scene. I'm thinking maybe Peru might have attacked Emily, or might have attacked Elizabeth, and maybe our mom showed up? I don't know. It's a mystery.
I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
Because there definitely seems to be evidence that our mom was at the scene at some point. And there also definitely seems to be evidence that somebody with a huge foot was at the scene. So that would seem to be 2 people at the scene.
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte. The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
Did we just steal that book? Discovered immunity. Oh, that's nice. We're not going to talk to him yet. I want to search the whole room first.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. It's a beautiful weapon. Lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
Curious, because that's a pretty small blade, skinny blade.
My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us soon. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte.
He said that the dagger had a fingerprint too small for a man, right? It had a whole handprint on it that, yeah, seemed to be too small for a man. It was slender and small. Maybe Napoleon has small hands, I don't know. But
A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Peru?
The Battle of Alexander at Issus, or how Alexander the Great triumphed over King Darius. Yet another with honey. I couldn't have hoped for better. Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success.
It just
Why do I
seems-
get nothing but visions of horror in my room? And he gets victory after victory?
It seems to me that there was definitely more than one person at the scene. At least 2 people. At least 2 people. I wonder if there were more than that.
Amber crystals. French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus.
Why is there
the
a
last
chess
emperor
piece
of the
here?
Caesar dynasty. There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
Were they all there? So there's a boot from Peru, boot print from Peru, a pistol from Napoleon, our mother's dress. Is everybody involved in this?
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be discreet as to your coming. See you soon.
Vercingetorix throws down his arms at the feet of Julius Caesar by Royer. 2 great army chiefs.
Okay, let's talk to Napoleon. Poor Elizabeth, she was a little weird, but they didn't need to kill her. Yes, I'm very confused about why and who would do that. The only person that really seems to have a motive is Peru. I don't think any of these other people have a motive to kill her.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaggi as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Piaggi as well. But they all left at midnight.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you. What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight, so I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No. Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
What about your pistol, dude?
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Okay, so it's not his pistol. Maybe it's Peru's pistol.
Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. It must surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation would be finished already.
I wonder if he
Someone
knows
saw
who the
you
lurker
not
was.
far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
Do you recognize the Prowler?
Were you able to recognize the Prowler?
Unfortunately not, no. It was dark, and Lord Mortimer was waiting for me. I was not really paying attention anyway.
Excuse me for insisting, but if you saw him or her, I'm sure you would have more information than that. It's just that you don't think it can be of help to me.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Was it a woman, for instance? Bearing in mind that all the women here wear whalebone dresses, which is rather noticeable.
A man, I should say. I don't recall seeing the silhouette of a dress.
You see, You saw many things, in fact.
Hang on. Laissez-moi réfléchir. Let me think a minute.
A wig? His height? The sound of his footsteps, maybe.
Ah, his height. Oui, somewhat imposing. A tall man, and straight. As for the rest, I don't know, Monsieur de Richet.
Not to worry. That's already quite a lot. Thank you for everything.
Tall and straight man.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Does that describe Peru? Peru's definitely tall. Could he have seen Washington leaving her room? Because we know that Washington was trying to get in her room to find some stuff. Hard to say.
Sir Jacques Peru?
Alright, Mr. Peru. You're on the top of my list.
What do you want from me, de Richet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
Why is he behaving like the perfect culprit? What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
What does that mean? Is it
The
too
Massacre
perfect?
of the Innocents by Rubens. A bit gloomy. Guess my room is not that bad.
I do wonder if this is too easy, if it points to Peru too much, right? I mean, why would he leave all that evidence? I don't know if we shall meet again. At this point, I am a prisoner, steered by my own decisions. You must be protected. My future is lost without you. You can still be saved. No matter how much bitterness you hold against me, you must know that I made a pact with the devil who I thought I could master. And I thought I knew the monsters, but what I did for France is nothing compared to what they are capable of doing. Now I can't see any way out. The jaws are closing upon me. I love you now and forever. Who wrote that into who? Wait, was he trying to burn something? I can't read that. What does it say?
The Massacre of the Innocents, but by Van Harlem. I think that Mortimer likes to play mind games with his guests. A pattern with 4 circles.
I'm not looking for this either.
Another painting on the Massacre of the Innocents? Nice decor for a Revolutionary Tribunal judge's room.
Maybe he found her body and ran. Why would he run, though? Why wouldn't he just call for help? Maybe he thought he would be implicated, but surely he wouldn't have blood on his hands and everything. From stabbing
Records
her a
of
bunch
the
of
police.
times.
Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Every time you talk about Washington, I think about the Hamilton musical. I still have not seen that musical. It looks amazing. I should just sit down and watch it.
Amber crystals.
Did you enjoy it?
Dear friend, please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris. A boat will be waiting for you in Calais and will take you to Dover in England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of Tintagel, where a frigate will be waiting for you and other guests, so you can meet up with me on my island as quickly as possible. I await your arrival. Lord William Mortimer.
Okay. Yeah, I love musicals. What are your favorites? I really like Candide a lot. I love Into the Woods a lot. God, what's the other one I really liked? Okay, let's talk to Peru. Maybe he'll tell us something that'll make us think that he's not the murderer. Because right now he really seems like the murderer. Like, almost too
All right.
much.
Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Did you kill Elizabeth Adams? Do you enjoy hitting women? I found his letter. Let's talk about it. Has he still got his gun? I found his footprint at the scene.
You were armed the night of my arrival. Can I see your weapon?
No.
You do realize you're not helping, don't you? You're making it worse for yourself.
So that was his weapon.
I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what happened.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene.
But why?
Congratulations. You've wrapped up the investigation.
But why?
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
I really enjoy Wicked and Hamilton. Wicked was the only one could watch in Brazil. Really? Do they just not have other musicals there, or...?
Let's get right to it. Are you Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy. You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
2 days ago, I surprised you having a go at Miss Adams. What happened? Did you want to give her another beating? She wouldn't let you push her around again, huh?
Shut up, you little shit! You have no idea what happened, and here you are, carping away. You think you're Investigator of the Year. Have you taken a look at yourself, de Richet?
Didn't you get enough beating her black and blue the last time?
I did not!
You did not get enough? Or...
Why?
Nothing. Get away from me.
Just as soon as you stop treating me like I'm an idiot. If you wanted people to think you were guilty, you couldn't have done any better. So cut the bullshit and come clean now.
I can't! He'll come for revenge.
Who?
No one! Just shut your trap, goddammit! Yes, I was there. Yes, I walked in her blood. You've got all you need to wrap it up. Now scram!
Wait, so he was at the scene, but he was not the one who killed her. So somebody else killed her? But who? Who? What the heck? I'm so confused. Who will come for revenge? Who will come for revenge? He said it was another man, right? Another man that would come for revenge? Let's go back up to... is it here? Should we talk to him now and see if we can...
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
Will you remind me of the facts we already know about?
Elizabeth Adams was killed last night, but Piaggi was with Holmendai until late at night. As for Bonaparte and Washington, they left us after midnight, both tired.
That doesn't really give us much because I think she was killed at like 4 a.m.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
She isn't missing. She's in hiding. She does it often.
She seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
That's a good question. I can't imagine her mother being the mouse, but I don't know why else she would be hiding.
I'd like to answer the cat, but unfortunately I'm increasingly worried that she's in fact the mouse.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him, because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me.
Why help a lieutenant? Did my mother sell arms?
Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
She was looking for a buyer? I have absolutely no idea. Honestly.
If only my mother had trusted me, but she remained very mysterious. I'd have been delighted to answer your question.
Is this usual for her?
As head of the Order, secrets are her bread and butter, as you can imagine. That said, it's the first time she hasn't let me in on the reason for her trip. And it intrigues me, to tell you the truth.
Well, I'm sure that Sarah will explain everything once she reappears. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Maybe she's wary of someone. She might have discovered something. Maybe she's lost her mind. She might have discovered something. Maybe she's wary of someone? Who would she be wary of, though? Although I guess somebody did just kill Elizabeth, so... Elizabeth saw her, right? Yeah, she did see our mother. Maybe she discovered something.
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
My mother must have undoubtedly taken great pleasure in these exchanges. She always was one to appreciate broadening her knowledge. I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the Third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol.
Wait,
then,
what?
Before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with.
Wait, what?
I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so then Emma was shot, why
was just
doesn't
opposite Mortimer's study.
why doesn't Emma know or Emily know about this? Right? I don't understand. So Emily's looking for her sister Emma, right? Doesn't know where she is, but Mortimer knows she was shot by our mother. I'm confused. I'm very confused. Whose room is this? Is this the tower room?
A Byzant from the Byzantine Empire. A coin often used during the St. Louis era.
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
Look for clues, examine the painting.
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior. A fierce opponent of the first Christians, St. Paul is suddenly struck by the call of Jesus Christ and converts. It's the best known conversion in Christian history, which teaches us that even enemies of Christ can be saved, and even become his greatest apostles after finding faith. From what I can recall, the account of his conversion could be found in the epistles to the Galatians, the Philippians, the Corinthians, and the Acts of the Apostles.
Okay.
What is this disc?
Observe disc. Take it, leave it, take it. Lodestone.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Honey.
Like there are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting.
Oh shit.
She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be?
The man with the sword is
Who could she
Napoleon.
be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Oh, unless she means not a real man, but... man with a sword. Is it Jesus? Isn't there a passage in the Bible talking about how Jesus will come with a sword? What?
The door appears to be locked on the other side. I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor. We'll see if it works.
Interesting.
It's open.
That would seem to mean that somebody locked this room from the inside, doesn't it? But why?
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
We don't have that.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew. painted by Guido Rini. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
In the arms of the angel.
The New Testament.
Ooh. Oh my god. Wait, let me look something up because I'm pretty sure there's a verse in the Bible about Jesus coming with a sword. I wonder what verse. I came not to send or bring peace, but a sword. That's Matthew 10. The Gospel according to St. Matthew, maybe? That freaked me out. The 10th chapter in the Gospel of Matthew. You have a beautiful voice, thanks. I was singing the song that always plays on those really sad videos late at night, like the commercials where they want you to donate money. It's gotta be Matthew, right? I just don't know which.
That ye practice your justice before men.
Maybe we need more clues.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Should we rife through them?
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido
we're
Rini.
not gonna look through
like
them?
Someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Maybe the painting was taken out and put somewhere.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Rini.
Mark.
A fragment of amber.
Amber.
St. Paul painted by Guido Rini.
He's not an evangelist.
Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
St. Paul is shown holding a sword.
Okay.
Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean?
Okay, so it's gotta be the Gospels from Paul, right? 11 twice.
So we have the figure 11 twice underlined.
22.
And a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Welcome back, Six. I've returned with ruined peanut butter cookie mix? How could you ruin peanut butter cookie mix? How can it be ruined? You just eat it and it's delicious, right? Epistles of Paul. Epistles of Paul. Second epistles? Philippians, Ephesians, Thessalonians, or Hebrews. Corinthians, Galatians, Romans. Chapter 11, verse 11. It's got to be this one.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy.
Oh, wait. A note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here.
There it is, Beach.
Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply. Hidden behind the youngest apostle.
What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
Who's the youngest apostle? Who the fuck is the youngest apostle? Peter?
The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle? Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting.
Duh.
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
She says we must find a safer way to communicate someone is on to us. Trusted my faith in the man with the sword. Okay. I'm glad you found the note. I was afraid the code of the two groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package you know where and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
I'm very confused. I need to hear that again.
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add one companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? On the second day, the pilgrims listened to the prophecy of the young apostle. The prophecy of the young apostle, that was John. And the prophecy mentioned is most likely the book of Revelations according to St. John.
What does that mean? Add a companion to the left and 3 to the right to complete their rank. Holy shit, Moxie, 6-hour stream, you go, girl. Oh, hell yeah. Sunday is my one free day when I don't have any other jobs. So I can actually stream more than 3 hours.
But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes.
Okay, well, it wasn't that one. Let's try... Wait a second. Revelation to John. Add a companion to the left and 3 to the right. So 11 plus 1 is 12, and 11 plus 3 is 14. It's got to be this one.
And the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle,
that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and a half a time.
It's gotta be
from the
this one,
face
right?
of the serpent. Hey, a new note. It's been folded carefully in the corner of this page. The writing, it's not my mother's. S. I found the book in your effects. I've concealed it where no one can get their hands on it. I can assure you, awaiting your instructions, I will hear your reply like he who hears the angel. Hears the angel? What does that mean? Oh, it's probably the place where she was expecting to get the location of the next note.
He who hears the angel.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Who is it that hears the angel? This one?
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
The Corinthians? Half. One more time. What was the hint?
There's something else behind this painting.
Just means more squat Sundays or squat days. I guess they are now.
Will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that
I'll be
mean?
sore when I wake up tomorrow. Oh, I fucking missed it.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Half of each group. So we have 12 and 14, so it's got to be Corinthians 6, 7. Let's go. Where's Corinthians? In here? No. 1 Corinthians. Chapter 6,
Now,
verse 7.
therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look, here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Mark?
Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem.
Okay, not that.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni. There's nothing worth noticing here.
I have no idea what's happening. So our mother Sarah and I'm assuming Emma, Emily's sister, have left each other notes back and forth in this room by using clues in this room to figure out where the notes have been hidden. So we're trying to find the next note, and they said follow the first pilgrim to Mark, and this is a painting of Saint Mark. Scrutinize the chest of drawers, inspect the dusty piece of furniture behind the painting, examine the candlestick, scrutinize the chest of drawers.
No, nothing of value here.
So it's not that.
Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew. Choosing the Hebrew alphabet is no coincidence. It's got to be a reference to the Bible.
Hebrew, great. I can't read Hebrew.
There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
So, let's go back and look. Perhaps... Hebrews. I'm gonna guess it's 6 verse 8 because the first group of pilgrims is 6.
But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned.
Here's a message.
There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks.
I await your confirmation.
To his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him.
Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
New pilgrims near Paul? New pilgrims near Paul? This one I don't know, man.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
Paul acts back on his tracks. Confirmation to his left, the pilgrims that have joined him. 6, 8, 6, 7, 12, 14. $11. There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? Tonight is not possible. Let's say tomorrow evening in the South Room where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted... Count the axe, maybe? He went back on his tracks. I don't know what that part means. I await your confirmation to his left... in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Is there a 6:11? Like a chapter 6 verse 11? Wait. The axe. 6:11. Maybe this is it. Because I thought it was chapter 6 verse 11. And also axe.
Then they suborned men, which said, We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God.
That wasn't it. What? So it's probably definitely axe, right? Maybe chapter 2 verse 2? Or, let's see, what were we at? We were at 6:8. It could be 10:8. Or it could be 2-2. Fuck, man.
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
Maybe it's 10-8.
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that?
It's probably allegorical, or it's probably literal. It's probably allegorical, right? Although most of this shit has been literal. But what could you possibly mean talking about a nightmare if it's not allegorical?
I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Okay, well, fuck. Still not 100% sure what the fuck is going on, but I guess we're getting there. I did not understand my mother's message? Uh-oh, that's not good. I did not understand my mother's message. Where is my mother? Oh, this is bad. Oof, can't even understand your mom. Yeah, where is Nyx? Is she working today? I forget. Okay, I have 4 points. What can I get to? 3 points left. Science. Science. Politics, diversion, linguistics. Oh, I've kind of been failing on the linguistics part, but also the science part.